Wooks and Warlocks contains sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and as such is intended for adults. Listener discretion is advised. Content warning can be found in the description.
Stellar salutations, Star Seekers. Our past masters are coming to terms with their non-tubular time torsion, and it seems like they fit right in with these Happy Tricksters. Hard to believe it's taken them a week and a half to find their first hitchhiker. Fellow road warriors abound in the land of Wooks and Warlocks.
Round and around in the tunnel when it's dark we go.
Hello and welcome to Wooks and Warlocks, a role-playing tour through the summer of love. In this podcast, we will be playing out a story of adventure and magic using dice and skills to determine the outcomes of our actions. My name is Trey Miller, and I will play the role of Game Master for this journey. I am joined by three of the finest folks to roll the dice. Please introduce yourselves and your characters.
My name is Anthony. I'll be playing Xxxzantor, the bugfolk Drake Warden.
My name is Jessie. I will be playing Granny Glenda. She is a half foxfolk rogue.
My name is John Lombardi. I'm playing Elijah Woodstone, the enlightened farm wizard.
When we last left our intrepid adventurers, they had just discovered that they had been flung through time and space to a version of Lund so far in the future its date defies calculation by any method they consider familiar. With little choice other than to acclimate to this forced scenario, the party spent a week and a half on the road with a group called the Happy Tricksters, made up of elven twins, John Paul and Penny Lane, a very regal lion folk by the name of King Kenzie, a wizardly owl folk chemist by the name of Owlsley, and their new friend, Drake Farkslut, the freshly hatched egg of Xxxzantor the Bugfolk. After a week and a half of travel through the forests of West Song into the malevolent mountains, the group found themselves growing ever closer to the next big festival on the summer road tour, Valley Jam. With each passing mile, the anticipation in the van grew, with the Happy Tricksters telling stories of Valley Jam's past. As the van pressed through the malevolent mountains, night fell and it became late, and later, until the moon was high in the sky, the sun long forgotten, stars twinkling overhead. John Paul was unable to find a good place to pull over and camp. Sheer mountain walls on either side of the road blocked any attempt for safe sanctuary. Finally, the cliff walls gave way to open fields as the group passed into one of many valleys in the malevolent mountains. Before John Paul could pull over and make camp, the headlights of the Happy Tricksters van hit the reflective surface of a crashed car. The car had smoke coming from it as it wrapped itself around a tree, one of the few in the mountain pass. In front of the tree stood an elderly silver-haired woman, and beside the silver-haired woman sat a small cat. Her thumb extended, she attempts to wave down the now pulled over group. Looks like that lady needs a ride.
Careful. Could be a trap.
Oh, come on now. We always pick up riders.
It's true, you know. We're the type to give a ride to a hippie folk on the road. That's what we got to do. We've got to look out for each other. Some people say that's what it stands for, hobo. Helping other brothers out. In this case, I guess, sisters count too, of course.
King Kenzie and JP look at one another and nod affirmatively as though this is an understood truth. And JP and King are going to open their respective doors, the driver's door and the passenger door, and get out and greet this woman who is hitchhiking.
The vehicle that's crashed, is it on fire or is it just like steaming?
So do you get out and investigate the vehicle? From what you can see from the van is that crashed metallic beast, this car that's wrapped around a tree, seems to have white smoke pouring from what you have learned is called the engine compartment of the car. No car that you've ever seen has done this.
Granny Glenda's gonna kind of go up to Elijah and be like, well, Sonny, even if she does have ill intentions, she is far outnumbered and she probably won't try anything, so I say we just go along with it. And she's gonna go outside and go and greet the traveler.
Yeah, Xantor would get out and he'd be like, excuse me, I'm a doctor, let me get through. And he'll do try to do a medicine check on her to make sure she's all right.
Oh, wow. Hello, all you strong people. Oh, my goodness. Are you here to help me? I shouldn't be driving at this hour. I've gone and hurt my vehicle. Oh, what are you doing? She reacts to Xantor investigating her.
He's trying to grab her arms and lift her arm up and stuff and look under.
Oh my, this is very unusual.
He's not a real doctor. He's not very good at any of this. Actually, he just likes to, try. He got a 5 on his medicine check, so.
Oh, don't touch me like that. That hurts very much, sir. And she's going to pull away from you. You are unable to ascertain any medical information from your rough examination. You lack finesse with your hands when examining the sensitive parts of this human. You, of course, being a carapace donning individual, wouldn't be as familiar with the fleshy parts of a human. And this woman does, by all intents and purposes, appear to be a human. As has everyone left the car and is over in investigating this woman greeting her, or is anybody still in the car?
I think I was still in the car.
Okie dokie. So, King, from where you are in the car, you guys are unable to clearly hear what's happening. You just see Xantor sort of grabbing this woman like a marionette doll and moving her arms into the air, and then she pulls away.
He would then go for the cat and try to check out the cat and try to do an animal handling or something to
roll for animal handling. The cat is eyeing you warily.
Get a nat 1.
The cat reels away at your approach.
He says, and he's doing that like stuffy doctor noise where he's like, fine.
The cat looks. Is Drake with you, or is Drake in the car?
Drake would be with him. Yeah.
So the cat is going to look from you to your Drake and back to you and just hiss at you both.
Xantor would hiss back.
Excuse me, Xantor. Very rude. Ma'am.
King Kenzie is going to walk up and say,
ma'am, do you need a ride? Is there something I can do to help? We've got room in our van. Do you need a ride somewhere so we could help you? It would appear your vehicle is decommissioned. I'm not sure that it's going to be made workable, but perhaps we could give you a ride to some sort of safety. This is not... There's hours and hours of just canyon the way we came. The way you were going, there's nowhere to bring you, but we could take you forward if you'd like to join us.
Yeah, what's your name, Toots?
My name? Oh, wow. My name's Penelope.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
I'm Xantor. This is my little buddy, Drake. And this fella here is King.
I'm King Kenzie. I lead the Happy Tricksters, and we travel about making merry and trying to bring love and happiness to a world that just needs a little bit more peace. I dare say our next destination is the Valley Jam. You're going the wrong way for it, but I would of course welcome you to ride along. And JP says, yeah, man, it's totally far out. You can join us. It's going to be a good time. We can make a little bit of room, right? Right, folks? Can we make a little bit of room?
Well, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do that. It's very nice to meet you, Penelope. I am Glenda, and that grump that stayed in the bus is Eli. He's just a little upset because we had a bad encounter with some strangers recently, so pay no mind to him.
Oh, strangers can be like that. They weren't some of them culty little wooks, were they? I don't take no part in none of those cults.
Why, yes, they were. And while she's
Wow.
saying, so Granny Glinda's definitely gonna wanna roll for insight to make sure that she was being honest when saying that she doesn't
Like the wooks?
Yeah, doesn't
Okay.
like the looks. Oof, that is going to be 5.
You're unable to ascertain whether or not she's being honest. Well, I just can't believe I crashed my car. I swear, it's just like me to do something like that. But if you guys can get me away from this place fast, I'm telling you, I've been feeling some strange energies. So this way, that way, I just think it's not safe to stop here, but a little bit of a ways back, I did see a safe campground if you'd like to join me. Or maybe you could even come back. Well, if we go far enough, I have a house not too far. We'd have to camp for the night, but you can come back to my rock quarry where I keep a small cabin in the woods, and we could all hang out. I could repay you for your kindness. I've got a lot of things I could share with you there at my home.
Well, that sounds like a perfectly reasonable offer. I swear we won't go much farther tonight. But what do you all say?
I think that sounds very nice. I haven't been to a quarry in quite some time.
See here, Penelope. What how'd you wreck your car there?
Oh my goodness. I get in my head sometimes, and I lost control of the vehicle on this turn. I was going a little too fast down the mountain into this valley, and I hate to say it, but I just drove right into the tree. It's like I was daydreaming.
I get that. These things move pretty quickly. We're still getting kind of used to the speed ourselves. Yeah, I mean, whatever we could do to help. And you and your cute little companion here, we love all people.
The cat hisses at you violently and arches its back, growing closer to Penelope. John Paul says, "Oh, little kitty, don't be such a sourpuss. Well, we can make space in the car. All right." And they're going to return to the van. Are you sure you don't need anything from your car? John Paul is going to ask the Penelope. Oh no, I just feel a funny feeling, and I just can't wait to get away from here. It seems not safe.
Is there any standing water in the area?
About 100 yards. Or 100, more like 100 feet forward of the van, you see a small pond, big enough for like a large group to like bathe or play in it. But it seems to be spring fed. It's not attached to a river of any sort.
Okay, if I don't have to use magic, I won't. But I was thinking, like, if there's a receptacle in the car or something that we could scoop some of that water and kind of just put it on the steamy bits. of the crashed vehicle,
So,
just so it doesn't burn.
Eli's going to go grab some water and try to.
If we don't have a receptacle, I mean, I could I could magic it.
It's a good idea. Yeah, it is a good idea. Here, you can use my bucket. And Penny Lane is going to go and open the back hatch of the van and pull out a bucket and hand it to you.
I'll go to the water and scoop a bucket and be
Roll.
like, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, will Xantor and Granny Glenda, are you all in the car with Penelope? Roll for perception while Eli goes to get some natural coolant and pour it into the engine.
9.
Dirty 20.
Granny Glenda, you notice that Penelope is trying to keep a cool face, but she's twitching with fear as Eli takes the time to go fill up this bucket, carry it back to her car, and pour it out. She's, oh, we really should be getting out of here. That big, strong elk man just... Oh, that's so nice of him to put out that fire, though. We do got to look out for the forest.
Yeah, so Granny Glenda's going to go ahead and try to persuade Penelope to kind of tell her what's wrong. Like, why, dearie, I see you sweating from a mile away, and it would just be better if you went ahead and told us the truth on what's coming our way if we help you.
Roll for persuasion.
Last thing we'd want to do is light up this landscape with an uncontrollable blaze. My friend Stony the Hare says that only we can prevent these type of incidents.
Dirty 20 again.
With your dirty 20, while Elijah narrates his mechanic activities to the air and the wind and the moon above, Penelope looks at you, and you see her shake, fear evident. Well, I might be a little worried that somebody ran me off the road, that maybe there was someone after me, but I don't know. I'm so old. I can't always tell what's real and what's not. But I don't think we're in any danger so long as we leave. We're gonna call Arcana the roll for car stuff. So we want to roll to see how well you add coolant to this overheating car scenario.
I gotcha.
Would Xantor be overhearing this conversation between
Roll
Penelope
for perception to see if you can hear it. And are you talking like in loud volume, Granny Glenda?
No, I'm going to kind of try to keep it.
19 plus 7.
I got a 1. I'm totally just
Yeah, so
looking at
you're
my dragon.
You're just looking at your dragon. So
I hit the hot area with the water, and it actually because I got like a 26, so I'm gonna say like the steam comes up, almost like about to burn me, but you see me like shape it back into water.
as with the steadied hand of an old mechanic expert, you are able to cool the steaming engine and bring about an end to the smoking that's coming off of this crashed automobile. You feel a familiar connection to the metal and machinery of this car. You sense that there's something about these new machines that resonates with who you are as a transmutation wizard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do I notice anything about the car, like besides like the incident? Because maybe like passive investigation being 15. Like I see like the crash, but is there anything weird that on the side of the car that I'm seeing?
What you can tell is that the car, based on your rudimentary knowledge of energy flow and how these interconnected pieces seem to cause functionality in this engine, you realize that this car is not completely beyond repair, and with a little bit of effort could be made mobile again, but it would require parts and tools that you don't have.
I think it looks worse than it is, to be honest, but I think we're safe to go ahead and get out of here. I don't think it's going to catch on fire.
I'll just come back for it, dearie. Come on, let's go. Penelope is, like, clearly hurrying you along.
Yeah, Granny Glenda is going to kind of feel sympathetic towards Penelope, having lived a lifestyle where people were chasing after her, so she's not really going to blow her cover, per se. She's just going to kind of, well, I think it's a good idea to get on the road, so why don't we all just go ahead and pack up?
Elijah returns from adding coolant to the van to find it piled full, seats covered with drake sweat, cat fur, humans and animals pushed side by side, the van filled to capacity, pushes forward slightly slower than you're used to, picking up speed with less haste. Roll for perception, and Elijah, you're going to make this roll with advantage because you have a familiarity with machine's functionality.
I got a 6.
I got a 5.
So Granny Glenda and Xantor are oblivious.
I got 16.
16.
Oh, you got a 16, not
Yeah.
a 6. Okay, so with your 16s, Granny Glenda, you can't quite put your finger on it because you haven't spent the time familiarizing yourself with vehicles and machinery. But you recognize that the addition of 2 more people shouldn't cause the car to be so slow to speed up. And Elijah, you realize that as well. It seems like maybe the car is struggling with the weight, or something might be happening with your engine. It's hard to put your finger on it with your lack of experience.
John Paul.
What is it?
There's a hitch in this baby's get up.
Yes, it feels like the transmission's going a little slow. I'll take her easy on the ride. Let's just get to that safe place that we'll be off the road just a little bit of the ways, and I'll crack the engine open. You and I can take a look, huh? Sound good?
We got a heavy load. I don't know, like usually we might use like a horse, but this feels like it needs like a steer. So if you can put it in like steer mode instead of like horse mode.
Oh, I'll put it in 4th oxen for you. Let's see if it works. And you see him take the lever that he uses to control the van and move it upwards in a fashion, and clunk, clunk, the machine switches to a lower gear with greater strength, and it manages the heavy weight first down into the valley, then up into the next traces of the mountain. You continue forward for about 20 minutes. Penelope says, "Oh, we're not too far now. I'm pretty sure it's just up the way."
Can I attempt something
Of
to
course.
assist with that?
What would you like to do?
Is there any way I could like turn this like heavy van in from like steel to aluminum?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Or do I not know the knowledge of like aluminum yet, so like I wouldn't be able to work with that?
Let's go ahead and roll. We'll call it, I guess Arcana would be familiarity with these mechanical things. Let's see.
The metallurgy.
Yeah. Let's see if you would ascertain this.
Oh, actually that's not bad with my Arcana, so that would be a 15.
So you've had different materials around the farm. You've had bronze axes. You've had iron axes. You've had gold and silver rings. And you know that there are some metals that are lighter than others. And with that knowledge, you're able to transmute for a limited amount of time one item. You choose to do that to the van. What metal do you turn it into?
The lightest I could think of would be like, but strong still. So like a
Aluminum.
strong frame would be aluminum. Yeah.
So the van, its bright colors still taking the primary hue, shifts to a lighter sheen. The rust of the iron disappearing and giving way to a brittle white dust. The aluminum framed car now moves forward with a greater speed, and Penelope reveals, "Oh, we're probably about 5 minutes from my place. Just keep your foot on the gas." While driving, John Paul begins to look up into his rearview mirror and then in his side view mirrors. Hey, y'all. It looks like someone's coming up on us pretty fast there. As the mountain road twists and turns, you see behind you, coming with great speed, another vehicle. And I need you guys to, again, roll for perception.
It's gonna be a 13.
5.
Oh my god.
17.
All right, so with your 17, Elijah, you are the first to realize that the car coming up behind you is none other than the smashed, crashed pink convertible that you saw on the side of the road only 20 minutes before, utterly incapable of driving. From your vantage point, it looks as though no one is driving the car. The vehicle approaches, gaining speed like someone with an iron boot smashes on the gas. And with very little warning, this new vehicle approaching from behind smashes into the back left corner of the van, popping the tire and sending the van careening off the road.
Cue sound effects.
Roll for initiative.
Oh my god. You better pay for that. I hope you have insurance. I want to see your cards right now. Oh no. I got a natural 1.
Oh no.
18.
That was much better.
All right, so did anyone get above a 20?
Nope.
All righty. Who got between 15 and 20?
Xantor. And he's pissed. There's a baby on board. This is not cool.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
We gotta get those stickers made.
Baby on board.
Did you say we ran off the road? Did we we're not flipped upside down or anything, right?
No, you're just, you've crashed. The van has spun out. It looks like you have a flat tire, and the van has crashed into the wall of a small outcropping of rocks. The other car has also spun out of control and come to a stop in the middle of the road, and 3 individuals get out. These people are about half the height of a normal individual. The first person you see, the one who was piloting the car, has a tall red hat and metal boots and brandishes a menacing sickle. Behind him come 2 walking, chittering mushrooms. Spore-like eyes take in the scenario. as they begin to inexplicably attack. Your companions seem to have lost consciousness in the whiplash of the crash. Elijah, what was your initiative?
Mine was 12. 12, yes.
Xxxzantor is the first to recover from the stun of the vehicular onslaught. The door swings open on its hinges as the three menacing microfolk approach.
Is there like a because Xantor's like in the back of the bus? Is there like one of those back doors like on a school bus?
Yeah, it's not like on a school bus. It's like a VW bus would have two swinging back doors.
All right.
And there is a latch that you can open from back there. There's going to be a lot of stuff in the way, so it'd be difficult. You'd have to use like 10 feet of movement to get out, but you can do that.
I think he would probably see that as the easiest option as opposed to like getting across all these knocked out bodies. He's like sensing a lot of danger at this point and just trying to kind of get away, get out of the bus. So yeah, he would take that extra movement to try to get out the back door.
So you crack open the back door.
Holding Drake, he would grab Drake with him.
So Drake is going to have his own initiative and turn after this. If you pick him up, that is an action.
Okay.
But we can run it flavor wise. If you guys are sharing initiative, he can move with you.
I mean, he would pick him up.
Okay.
Like he wouldn't rely on his own movement at this time. So he would go ahead and spend I guess that's a bonus action, or is it a normal action to pick up something?
It's a normal action to pick up something.
He would do that. He would pick him up and then spend get as far close to the mountainside over here.
Alrighty. So when you roll out of the back of the van, it is about 20 feet to get your back to the wall of this outcropping of mountain that the van has crashed into on the front side of.
Yeah, so he's going to take the movement, and then if he has action left, he would set Drake back down, towards his rear, close to the wall.
Yeah, you can drop something as it is a free action to drop something.
All right, so he'll do that, and then he'll scream, hey, you punks, what the hell are y'all doing?
Listen here, motherfucker. You gotta give us back Penelope. We want her back right now.
The red-capped individual yells at you while brandishing his curved sickle as though he means business. He moves to... It is Farkslot's turn.
Farkslot's still all new to this fighting thing, so he's gonna stand right beside Xxzantor. He's gonna just kind of take his place, stand there, and be fine. He'll let his turn pass.
Alrighty, so the red-capped challenger dashes towards the van. And when I say dash, I mean he moves his normal movement speed. He's not going to use an action to dash. Okay. Yeah. He is then going to reach for his sickle and attempt to slice the first person he sees. It is Granny Glenda remaining in the back of the van. And he's going to make a sickle attack. Does a 9 hit your AC?
My AC is 16.
So the red-capped individual yells a battle cry,
Yeah!
and attempts to swing his sickle at you, but he can't seem to get his small arms past the many supplies in the back of the van to make a reasonable attack.
Did you open up the door?
The door was already open.
Because of the accident.
Because of Xxzantor.
Oh, because
I went
Xxzantor,
out the back.
you went out the back door. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you went out the side door for some reason.
No, he went.
I had this blocking me, so I wasn't really visualizing it.
How dare you attack your elders?
He says,
Who are you calling an elder? I'm older than time itself.
And he's going to attempt to attack again with his sickle at Granny Glenda. This time he rolls a 21, and his sickle is going to hit and deal 1d6 plus 4 damage. It's going to deal 9 damage to Granny Glenda. The room goes quiet inside the van as Granny Glenda ponders the extreme pain that she is in. It is now Eli's turn.
Makes me happy we're not level 1 right now. It's like a death shot. Oh man, alright, Eli's, oh god damn it, what the hell was that? Oh my god, my head. I think I have a concussion. And he's gonna crawl towards the back door, where that guy is, with his head down. But while my head's down, I'm gonna touch myself, casting dragon's breath on myself, and I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna vomit acid all over this dude in a 15-foot cone.
Alrighty, so what is the DC save on that?
It is a dexterity save of 15.
Alright, so he fails his save and takes the acid spew full in the face, his body sizzling in response to the caustic fluids pouring out of you.
That'd be 13 points of acid damage.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
He screams as acid pours into his clothing.
Yep, I'm definitely concussed. And I'll use the rest of my movement speed to, like, crawl out of the van.
You land on the ground, like, kind of next to him?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, seeing this cone of caustic fluid come out of the back of the van, the mushroom folk who are lumbering about outside of the car begin to make their moves towards the back of the vehicle. The first moves just out of reach of Elijah's prone form on the ground outside the van, but the second reaches. With a heavy fist, the mushroom man reaches out to smash, but misjudges the distance in the dark of night, rolling a 10. Does a 10 hit your AC?
No.
The mushroom swing falls short as you are left staring into the sightless eyes of a spore being.
Is he within 5 feet of me?
He is within 5 feet of you.
So I can use a reaction that I have with my antlers and do a bashful blow. It says if a creature ends its turn within 5 feet of you, I can use my reaction to attempt to shove that creature with my antlers. It only works on creatures no more than a size larger than me. It must make a con save. Wait, hold on. Con save. Constitution saving throw against a DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus strength mod.
And your strength modifier is what?
That would be plus 4.
Alrighty, so that's going to be a DC 14, and the mushroom man makes a 13, failing his save. So you, how far is he pushed?
Let me see here. If it fails, you push it up to 5 feet away from me, and the creature has disadvantage on opportunity attacks against you until its next turn.
Awesome. So you clear the space around you with a whip of your thick neck and girthy horns. Granny Glenda, it is your turn.
Yeah, so Granny Glenda was previously considering waking up the companions on the bus, but after the attack has decided to go after the same one that attacked her. So she's going to pull out her knitting needles.
I will say, for the sake of getting it covered, we haven't talked about it, but it will be a bonus action to apply one of your poisons.
Okay.
The way that a sleep poison or spell works is that it affects a certain amount of HP and causes that much HP to go to sleep. In this case, 10 HP. Your poison will add 1d4 of poison damage to one attack if you use a bonus action to add them. That will remove your ability to use your offhand attack that turn.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, she is just not focusing on the poison right now. She's just in a bit of a rage over getting attacked, so she is gonna pull out her knitting needles and go ahead and swing with both of them. The first one's gonna be a 23 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll both and tell me the total damage.
The offhand's gonna be a 19.
That also hits. And you're going against the red capped fighter.
Yes, that is the one I'm going against. The one. So the first one's gonna be 7 damage. And the second one's gonna be 2 damage.
All right, so your knitting needles pierce the soft flesh of the gnomish creature, its red hat bouncing with fury.
Damn, Granny, I don't think I've ever seen you move that fast.
Don't tell anyone else or it'll happen to you.
Xantor, it's come back around to your turn.
Yeah, Xantor's like, he loved to see that as well. To see, because he's seeing all this happen. He didn't really think he knew Elijah was like going to be a good beefy fighter, but he did not expect like a quick, plunge of these large needles. So he's right along with that. He looks down, he loads up a bolt onto his crossbow gun, and then he feels this like this little tugging at his leg, and he looks down, it's Drake, and Drake's like, like tugging at him or whatever, and so he's like, "What's up, little buddy?" And so like Drake like leans over his bolt pouch and like oozes a little bit of he opens his mouth and like some acid drops out of his mouth onto the bolt pouch, and so he's like adding acid to his bolts, and Xantor gives him a nod, and he does that little that little where they meet eyes, and he's like, "Yeah, I know what's up." So he's like, he pulls out one of the poisoned crossbow bolts, loads it into his gun, and then shoots it at our little scythe wielding friend there at the back of the bus. So a 14 to hit.
That is his AC.
Perfect. So it's a 1d6 plus 4. And then he's also got an additional 1d6 acid damage. So 9 plus 9 plus 5. 11.
All right, so the red-capped fighter screams in fury.
You're gonna regret this. Nobody fucks with the Fae. You hear me? Nobody.
He screams his threats, but they ring hollow as he is clearly near collapsing from the immense amount of damage he has taken from this first round of attacks. He turns to look at Elijah on the ground behind him, and he bares fangs from his otherwise unassuming mouth and attempts to bite down on Elijah Woodstone. Does a 22 hit Elijah?
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
He's biting me. Oh my god. 12.
So, as his teeth sink in to your thick hide, you feel your life's blood pour out of you. You're going to take 7 points of damage this turn, and then at the start of your next turn, you're going to take another d6 of bleed damage. You will then have a chance to staunch the bleeding with another Constitution check at the end of that turn.
Am I able to have a turn still, or does that take up my turn?
That does not take up your turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. With glee in his eyes, the red-capped fighter jumps from leg to leg and then is going to attempt to move away from his aggressors to take advantage of the cover of night. You, Granny Glenda, and Elijah Woodstone, you're going to have a chance for opportunity attacks here. And Granny Glenda, I neglected to give this to you earlier, so we'll run it now. Currently, to describe the battlefield, Elijah is on the ground outside of the van, directly next to this red-capped warrior. The doors are swung open, and Granny Glenda is inside the back of the van. The companions, unconscious, the Happy Tricksters lie disheveled in the van alongside Penelope, your hitchhiker that you have picked up. The mushrooms approach within roughly 10 feet of Elijah, their car lying 30 feet away in the middle of the road. Granny Glenda, you have advantage on this because the red cap is flanked. So you can add your sneak attack damage if this hits.
Okay.
Both of you can roll with advantage on this opportunity attack as the red cap attempts to flee.
It's going to be 26 to hit.
$19 to hit.
All right, so both of your attacks hit. Are you
I'm whacking him with my head.
Yeah, so did you already use you already used a reaction this turn?
I did.
So sorry for the false alarm, but you do not get that hit. That does not happen.
Oh, the opportunity attack takes a reaction?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind then.
Would you hand me a d6?
This is also an opportunity attack.
It's going to be 13 damage.
Describe the blow.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so, he's trying to... The red cap's trying to walk
I'm gonna
away.
get out of here.
Not today, buddy. Not today. This is what you get for messing with an old lady. And she pulls out her sewing needles and just kind of stabs him in the back, between the shoulder blades, and kind of pushes it in a way so his heart kind of pushes out of his body.
My goodness.
And
You see as you deliver this final blow to the surprised red cap, King Kenzie wakes up and goes, ho, 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 and then pretends to be asleep out of fear from Granny Glenda's horrific violence. As you feel his body fall off of your needles down to the ground, he does not hit the floor before his form poofs, and you just hear in your heads,
I'll be back and I'm bringing my friends. She's not getting away again.
Eli, it is your turn.
Alright. So yeah, Eli's a little dizzy when the little dude was trying to escape. He didn't have a chance to be able to take a whack at him. And just God damn, he bit me. That little bastard bit me. Oh my God, look at my neck. Hold on. Oh, he leans in. Let me say something. And throws more cone of acid at the other two.
All right, you're going to take
The
4
dragon's
damage
breath.
from your bleeding. And I'm gonna go ahead and roll for these guys. All right, so they one saves and one does not.
All right. Let's see, 13 on the one that did not. And is it half? Yeah, half is match. So was that 6 or 7? I don't know whether if it's the lower or higher.
I think you take the lower.
So 6 and 13.
As your acid spews over these mushroom folk, bits and pieces of their form disappear, but they are utterly unfazed as parts of their body disintegrate from existence. They move towards you with an almost zombie-like intensity to their gait.
And that was actually an action and a bonus action because I had dropped it. So I had to recast it that time.
Okay,
because I took damage before. So if I take damage, I think I lose the concentration of it.
You have to roll for concentration. So you would roll.
Oh, so I can roll to see if I don't have to use the spell slot?
Yeah.
Nice. Is it like my own?
Your concentration is either 10 or half the damage that you took.
Gotcha. Oh, nice. 14 plus whatever. So I do remain concentrated.
And it is plus your constitution. So is using the Drake's Breath just a bonus action?
No.
Casting it is a bonus action?
Using it's an action.
Great.
Yeah.
So, did you want to use your bonus action?
I don't really know what I can do. Let me see here. No.
All right. So the mushroom folk move in on Elijah Woodstone. They are going to first attempt to. Their bodies begin to shake, and you see spores coming off of their form, floating through the air, enveloping your head. And you're going to need to make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw.
Good.
So you save as they attempt. You feel your body growing rigid and then releasing as the pacification spores pass through you without shutting down your system. The second mushroom folk releases a different spore, this one glowing softly as it floats through the air, and it impacts the mind of everyone awake nearby within 30 feet of the mushrooms, which I believe is our crew in its entirety. Why are you fighting us? You hear the mushrooms communicating inside your thoughts. What's more, each of you can hear each other's thoughts. In this moment, it is as though you are all connected by a symbiosis, resonating within one another, your thoughts unbidden passing freely between companions.
That's gross.
Granny's gonna just focus really hard on making apple pie and nothing else.
Xantor's like in a bar, like cross-legged, sitting there like talking to Penelope and, you know, him and Drake, and it's just like a real romantic thing. He's kind of thinking about her a little bit.
Elijah's just very queasy and concussed, but seeing flashbacks of just like how disappointed his family is in his work efforts.
So you all feel slightly hungry, aroused, and disappointed with yourselves. And so really not much has changed from the normal human condition you find yourselves in. As these thoughts flow unbidden to your mind, including the impression of the nearby mushroom folk, the turn passes, and it is once more Granny Glenda's chance to wreak havoc.
Pop 'em. Okay, so what's the distance looking like on...
Granny Glenda is still in the back of the car, and
Okay.
she is roughly 20 feet from the first mushroom person. She is roughly 30 feet from the second mushroom person. Remember that it will take you 10 feet of movement to get out of the van, which means that you would not be able to get around Elijah to the second mushroom person described.
Okay, she's gonna, get out of the van and go to the first mushroom person then. And once again, just pull out her sewing needles. All reliable. She's not trying to do any, she's trying to save her poisons.
Yeah, and you have advantage on this as they are preoccupied with Elijah at the moment.
Okay, well that's gonna be a natural one with advantage.
You rolled 2 ones.
Yeah.
2 natural ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
My goodness. As you
Goodbye, Granny.
As you bring down your knitting needles onto the head of the mushroom folk, just before you would pierce the mushroom's thick flesh, you are hit with a wave of empathy.
Oh no.
And your hands bounce back as though you were trying to stab yourself, and you are unable to follow through with your attack. You find yourself enamored with this mushroom person, and you will be, for this next turn, charmed by this mushroom person, and you see it as your companion. You are unable to target it with any attacks.
I don't know why, but I just want to give this little fella a hug.
Xantor, it is your turn.
Granny's been bamboozled.
Xantor would take a free action to kind of like yell at Penelope and be like, "Hey, wake up! Get your butt out of here!" You know, because he assumes this has something to do with her. But that may or may not have any action on her. So he would just go on about with his, he'd look back down at his Drake. His Drake would drop a little bit of poison on his bolt. He'd load up another bolt and shoot it at probably at this guy.
So
here?
there are 2 myconids currently out on the field.
So the one that was just attacking Granny. Granny was just
From
trying
your
to
current
attack.
position, you are behind Granny Glenda, with your back against the wall. You would have to move in order to be able to target that particular mushroom person, as both Granny Glenda and Elijah are in front of it, sort of making a wall blocking your path.
His end goal would be to be on this guy, but he wants to, because he's shooting a bolt, he probably would try to come out, and keep the range.
All right, so you move about 15 feet away from the wall,
to try to get a clear shot on the one that they're ganged up on.
and you find that you are able to thread the needle between Elijah and Granny Glenda. Make an attack.
24.
With your 24, your acid-coated bolt pierces the head of the myconid. Give me some damage.
That's 6 damage.
Describe the blow.
Well, Granny, Glenda, and Elijah are there, and so what the bolt does, it actually like goes through Elijah's horns and then right to the. I imagine like Glenda slightly like twitching her head, as the bolt like whizzes between her and Elijah's heads, through his horns, and then just like smacked right into the center mass of the forehead of this. Well, I guess it's a mushroom, folks. So it might knock the cap off.
Yeah. So as the bolt pierces the flesh of the myconid, and its cap begins to tear and fall to the ground, just like the red cap before it. It poofs into a cloud of smoke, and you can hear for a brief moment, "You're going to regret that." And then the psychic connection that was bonding you all as a group disappears in an instant.
Then he would use whatever remaining travel distance he's got to try to get up on as close as possible to the other enemy.
So your character has 30 feet of movement. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Which are here. And so you are about 10 feet behind the last mushroom folk, which is doing battle with Elijah Woodstone on the ground.
Then I guess Drake would also use, he's got, because he's trying to keep up with me still as he's young. He does have a little bit more movement than me.
Does he want to make an attack? He is welcome to take his turn.
I don't think he's... No, he wouldn't attack yet.
He's not emulating Daddy?
Yeah, no, he's just like protecting me. If someone attacks me, he'll attack. But
Alrighty, so Drake Farkslot moves across the field from the shadow of the mountain to stand in the middle of the road next to Xxzantor, a.k.a. Daddy. Elijah, it is your turn.
All right. Elijah's going to... Oh, man. Fuck this guy. Son of a bitch. My neck's bleeding. I'm about to die. And he's going to pull out his dagger and attempt to shank the Myconid in front of him since he's so close.
Alrighty, roll for attack.
Natural 20 plus 6.
Alright, give us some damage.
Seven points of piercing damage.
And that's with it doubled?
Oh, doubled. 14 points.
So for a critical hit, you're going to roll the damage dice twice and then add your bonus.
Oops, I hit the wrong one. Excuse me. Pardon me. So it was 7 and then 6. And what bonus do I add?
You're going to add the 2 dice together
Yeah.
and then add your bonus.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
For each one of the horns.
This is dagger.
Sorry.
Critical hit.
So yeah, the first. Okay, so I add the 4 at the end, so it's the 3, then the 2 for 5, then plus the 4.
Describe
for
the
9.
blow.
Oh man, so Elijah shanks him, and then like to finish, like he's dead, but like Elijah's kind of losing it right now because he's bleeding from the neck. He does not know what that's gonna entail for later. He's never been bit in the neck before, but his anger, he stabs this dude, and then with his horns, he just starts slamming his head into this mushy mushroom corpse. And it comes up looking like Mel Gibson and The Patriot, just like, "Ah! Ah!" and then looks back at y'all. He's like, I think I'm concussed. And falls over.
As the din of battle fades and you each realize that the danger has passed, your companions begin to wake and stumble out of the van. What happened? I haven't lost consciousness like that unintentionally in quite some time. John Paul stumbles out, and Penny Lane, John, and King stare at the crashed van. They see the popped tire. They see dents in the frame. John Paul is going to move forward and attempt to start the engine. The engine does turn on. Penelope. Oh, wow. This is all my fault. I thought we would get away. We might have to camp here for the night, but I do have some familiarity with these sorts of things, and I might be able to fix up the van just enough to get us back to my quarry where I can replace that dented fender and get you a new proper tire. Just let me have some time with it. And you see Penelope is going to walk up to the vehicle, and as she feels around where the metal has been dented, you see glowing light come from her hands and fingertips. This part's new, but I've always had my way with these sorts of things. And she's going to use mending on the vehicle and slowly start repairing it. You can tell that this method of repairing is going to take quite a bit of time. And so the members of the Happy Tricksters begin to unload camp supplies and make ready to rest here while...
Do you think you can do that trick to my neck? Because I think I'm bleeding out.
Oh, honey, this only works on non-living things, but if I didn't know any better, I'd say your friend King over there could probably help you. And
did I take more bleed damage that last round too? Is that another 4?
You got to roll to see if
what am I rolling? Is it a
if
D6?
it heals? No, you got to
Or
roll
20.
roll Constitution. See if you pass the 15 DC.
I did.
All right, so you are not bleeding any longer.
Oh, thank goodness.
So King Kenzie walks up.
He says, I hate to have not been able to help with that, but I'm no stranger to these things. The Penelope's right, I can help.
And he's going to cast Cure Wounds on you at a first level. And you're going to heal 8 damage.
He went right for my jugular, King.
As your wounds close and the magic fades, King looks down at his hands, eyes wide, and he's going to say, I haven't done that. And then I'm going to need everyone to roll a perception check.
14.
6.
20.
So take off your headphones, John, and cover your ears. At the end of his statement, King Kenzie says, I haven't done that. His voice drops to a whisper. In years. Only the two of you perceive it. All right, John, you can put your headphones back on. King moves away from having healed Elijah and
Thank you, sir.
attempts to move the other car off the road. Penny Lane steps over to help him and pushes the car from the back as he pushes it from the side, using the steering wheel to guide it.
Granny Glenda's gonna stop him and be like, well, perhaps we should use one of these tires from this car to put on that car. I think car is what we call it, right? It is a car.
Well, that's not a bad idea, but I don't think they're the same sized tires. But from what I can tell, it looks like our good friend over there is going to make us roadworthy, at least until we can get back to her place. She claims she has the parts that we need.
Well, okay, that sounds good to me then.
As they make a makeshift camp quickly on the mountainside, no cars pass on the road, and you are undisturbed. Would anyone like to do anything before taking a long rest to await morning?
I'm just going to, or Elijah's going to go ahead and use the time to turn them mushies into little 3 sleepy darts.
Great. So
Xxzantor would attempt to make friends with the cat again. He would really like it if Drake and the cat could get along, and Xxzantor thinks he can initiate this through his use of animal handling.
So Xxzantor, roll for animal handling.
22.
So with your 22, this time as you approach the cat, it at first hisses as it is guarding Penelope while she works on the van. Penelope turns around, her hand still glowing and touching the metal frame of your van. Oh, hush now. You be nice to them. The cat seems to lower its hackles and will approach you and allow you to pet it.
Oh, what's your name, little buddy?
You see a collar on the cat's neck. The collar reads Boots.
Boots. Hey, Boots, how you doing? He's like, you know, a bug stroking his cat. It's a very funny picture. And then he calls Drake over, and Drake comes over, and he's like, Drake, Boots, Boots, Drake.
All right, Drake needs to now roll an animal handling, and we'll use no bonus, but he will have your proficiency bonus.
19.
So with a 19, the cat hisses at first, and then looks to Drake. How does Drake respond to the cat's hissing?
The little golden thing on his forehead starts to slightly glow a little bit brighter, and he likes it quite a bit. He's drooling acid slightly.
The cat identifies with the inner predator inside of Drake, and the two of them have a moment of adorable but deadly bonding as they stare deeply into one another's eyes, communicating in the ways that only animals and beasts can. Granny Glenda?
Yeah, so Granny Glenda is going to try to establish a watch for,
Oh, don't you worry about the watch. John Paul's got it covered.
Well, if you say so.
Would you like to help, Granny? I don't mean to keep you out. I was planning on handling it. You all did the fighting.
Well, if you have, you and your friends can take shifts, maybe that'll help ease my conscience.
Well, if you'd like to know the plan, it was going to be me, then Penny, then King. 4 hours each, so we could all get plenty of sleep before we make the next leg of the journey.
And when is Penny's shift?
She's going to be after mine.
Okay.
I got just enough mushies here for a little sleepy time tea if anybody would like to join me.
I'll take you up on that.
And I dilute the last little crumbs
Sure.
amongst-
Yeah, you guys decide to have some mushroom tea for the sake of falling asleep. And these aren't psychedelic mushrooms. These are just sleepy mushrooms, and you fall into a deep, restful sleep. You wake to the sounds of birds chirping, and it is late into the morning. The growl of a car passing by your small encampment jolts you to a sleep, to a waking state. Granny Glenda, you have been awake for some time. When the boys wake up, as you did not take any sleepy time mushroom tea.
Well, look who finally decided to roll out of bed. You youngins just need to learn how to rise with the day. Don't you know that the early bird gets the worm?
You're right. But we were, it was a long night. I almost died. A little dude bit me in the neck. I just needed a little bit of extra sleep.
That little dude bit you in the neck and you clobbered him to death with your antlers.
Yeah, I blacked out a little bit on that part, but he woke a rage up in me.
Xxzantor ignores her.
Owlsley walks up with a metal pot in one hand, and each of his owl little feather fingers holding a cup. And he offers you a cup of coffee. Ooh, I like to start the day with a cup. Would you like some?
What is this?
Coffee. It'll give you a pep in your step. Hoo-hoo!
So yeah, Granny Glenda will try some.
Are we familiar at all with coffee?
You've been on the road with them for about a week and a half. You've probably seen them drink coffee. You might have joined them.
But not from our past.
Xxzantor knows of stuff like this.
Coffee.
Like a tea maybe or something.
Coffee's not that foreign, I mean, it would have been really rare in your time to have specifically roasted coffee beans, hot morning beverages that give you energy, that's not a foreign idea.
Cool.
Yeah, Xxzantor will get some.
I'll definitely try some, yeah.
So as you enjoy your cup of morning joe, Penelope emerges from the small tent that was her her shelter for the evening. Oh my goodness, that just took me into the late hours of the morning, but I did manage to get it done, and I got a little bit of sleep too. Wow. And you look, and although it is not good as new, it appears that the van has been brought back to safe working conditions and has a tire on it that not as sturdy and thick as the tire from before, but looks like it will make it some ways down the road. Penelope says, well, just a little bit of a ways from my place. If you'd like to join, I'd still love to put you up and we can finish these repairs.
That all sounds great and all there, Peanut, but, weren't those, those guys that just attacked us, they, it looked like they were driving your old, was that your...
So what's
going on?
As you look over to the still wrecked convertible car that was definitely the vehicle that Penelope was driving, just a mere 20 feet away from where you're camped, she says, oh yeah, they definitely did. Well, I guess I should be clear that those fellas were after me, and well, now we've taken care of them, so I guess it's not going to be an issue, and I do need to repay you for your kindness after all. Those strange folks, they came around about the same time my powers did. It was just a couple days ago.
Yep.
Can I roll for history as far as knowing anything of, like, actual myconid creatures from
Sure.
our time? Like, was that I know, like, he was mushroom consistency. I know mushrooms, but...
Yeah.
That's a 13 plus... What would I be rolling? What would be the skill?
History.
History, yeah. I just said that. Sorry.
They're mushroom folk.
Plus 5. All right, nice. 18.
Great. So, in your time, there were whisperings of mushroom beings, and also red-capped gnomish fighters. And you know these beings to be entities of a place of fantasy and the sort of stories that you would tell children at night to have them be good. These are stories from fairy tales.
Stories from the Fae?
From the Fae.
Man, y'all, I didn't think these were actually real. Like mushrooms like that we use and eat, make medicines with, make poisons with. In some areas deep into the woods, known as the Fae, these creatures actually live in humanoid form. I don't know much else about them other than they come from tales.
I thought it was all legend too, but my goodness, they sure seem real to me. Well, what do you say?
And King Kenzie says, "Yes, I'm happy to go. We still have a couple days until Valley Jam, and frankly, I would love to have some time off the road. We're fairly close to the Valley's Jam, and I don't want to get there too early. They'll make us pay for camping. So if you all are okay with it, I would be very happy to go get our van fixed up. It does seem like Penelope owes us one, and it seems like the least we could do to enjoy some of her hospitality."
Sounds good to me, sweetie.
Did a good job on these repairs, and he's gonna do like the classic where you like kick it a little bit and like, feels good.
As you kick it, it does dent a little bit, and you hear Penelope say, "Oh no, that's just temporary. You can't handle all that.
It looks so good."
Well, thank you. I take pride in my work, but this isn't the finished product. We're gonna get you set up right." And
will you teach me?
You all, I'll teach you what I know. Yeah, of course. I'm very sharing with my knowledge. But, if you're going to ask me for something, I would like something in return. That's all. I try to, make sure I'm fair with all of my deals. But if you want to make a deal for some of my knowledge, I will share it.
I'd be happy to do any work you need done around your property.
Oh, I think you'll do just fine then. And she's going to get back in the van and sit down in one of the seats. If we're ready, let's go ahead and get on down the road. Does everyone get back in the van?
Yeah, Granny Glenda's in.
Yeah, Xantor's.
How's Xantor feeling?
He's taken in by her charm.
He
Out
really
of game,
likes her.
I do not trust Penelope for 1 second, but Xantor certainly does.
Yeah. So Xantor, having seen very few old beautiful hippie mamas, is just overwhelmed with the energy, the exuberance coming off of Penelope and her flaxen silver hair. The van careens down the road, handling a bit more wobbly than you're used to. The makeshift tire generated from the magics of Penelope's hands lacks the consistency of a typical tire. As you move closer down the road, Penelope sees a turn coming at. She says, "Here it is. That's the turn to my house." And you see a winding dirt path cutting off from the road. Just up there.
I was gonna say, can I if this road's looking kind of crappy for our wheel, I would like to kind of be looking out the window, like if the wheel's behind me.
Sure.
And I'm looking out the window, and if I see a pothole, I'm mold earthing trying to make us have
that's
a smooth
great.
ride
That's
as we
great.
go.
So, John Paul said, "You want me to slow down a little?"
Literally molding.
Yeah, just time it up where we can let me know if you see a hole. I'll keep an eye out as
Oh,
well.
let's do it. And then he's going to move at such a speed that there's 6 seconds between each pothole, so that you can just keep molding earth as you pass through. Oh wow! I didn't expect to get my road repaired. And as you pass through, I need everybody to make an Arcana check. The forest grows thick as you travel down the dirt path.
3.
26.
Granny Glenda and Xantor sense no changes as the forest thickens and the road continues on. But Elijah feels a vibration in the air. There is magic afoot, powerful magic, the sort of magic that can drive folks mad. You sense something intense about this forest, and as the van travels down the way and breaks open into a rocky crevasse, you sense not quite that something is amiss, but something is not quite as it seems.
Y'all, my chest hair is tingling. Something's iffy. So, I'm not quite sure. I don't want to raise an alarm, but let's just keep our wits about us.
Well, whatever do you mean?
There's an energy in the air. It feels like.
Oh, honey, that's just the quarry. Everyone says there's some magic here. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, it's just Penelope's place. She's glorious, can't you tell?
It's a powerful place.
As the energies overwhelm Elijah and everyone else seems nonplussed, you approach the break in the ground, and it is a large square cut of mountainside laid flat by powerful energies. You see holes drilled uniformly in patterns all around this large open square of mountain, and inside the square is the freshest, most beautiful water that you've seen since coming to this new version of Lund. Beautiful, pure spring water flows and moves through the quarry, trickling down the mountainside in a never-ending cycle like a natural fountain. In the distance, you see a small farmhouse nestled in the trees, and you see a garage where tools of the trade can be found for repairing vehicles. And you see in the yard surrounding the house by the quarry many vans, each damaged in some way, each featuring a part that could be used. As you approach, Penelope is going to say, "Let me out here. I'm going to go on ahead." And she is going to go in. John Paul pulls over and lets her out. "You guys feel free to look around. I'm going to go get us some drinks."
I'll go with you.
Xxzantor tries to go with her.
Roll for persuasion.
No.
Because he feels like their pets are bonding and stuff, and so that means he can bond.
That'll be fine with me, man. We'll meet up with you in a bit.
What's it, persuasion?
Uh-huh.
A 1.
Can I assist him in any way?
Sure. If you would like to persuade on his behalf
And give him advantage?
you can go ahead and give him advantage.
All
but
right. Yeah, I'm gonna say, like...
You're gonna
I
vouch
think-
for him?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, I think it's a good idea, y'all stay close. You never know if anything followed us. I don't want you getting snuck up on. I think it's a good idea we stay in at least small groups if we're gonna split up.
Granny Glenda will help with that as well.
Okie dokie. He's still only going to get one advantage, but since you guys are... what does Granny Glenda say to vouch for or encourage that Xxzantor goes with Penelope?
Oh, well, darling, I mean, he's just a little simple in the head sometimes, and he would be better watched by you on your property than by us.
And you're real pretty.
Xxzantor says.
All right,
as
roll
he
for
rolls
persuasion.
a 7
Oh my
with
goodness.
advantage.
Roll for insight, everyone except for Xxzantor.
14.
17.
Granny Glenda, you notice something fishy in Penelope's eyes and tone and gait as she turns to Xxzantor and says, "Oh, sweetie, you can definitely come to my house." And the two walk towards the dark house nestled in the forest across the quarry.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to like follow behind, but like stay in the
All
shadows.
right, roll for stealth.
I imagine Drake would be coming with me.
Yeah. Drake's just following you. I assume unless otherwise stated, he's like healing you.
Yeah.
11.
So with your 11, you see that Penelope keeps looking over her shoulders and notices you tailing them. "Oh, sweetie, did you want to come too?" she says to Granny Glenda.
Oh, I was just checking out the grounds and happened to be walking towards the house in that direction on the property.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Well, why don't you let me and Xxzantor go on ahead then? We'll catch up with you. Do you like lemonade? And she says it sort of menacingly.
I do.
Not you, sweetie.
Oh yeah.
We're going to get you plenty of lemonade.
I guess lemonade is all right sometimes.
Well, why don't you go tell everyone I'm going to have lemonade in just a minute, and we'll be right back. She eyes you with daggers, the way that only two spinsters could glare at one another. A moment passes between you, much like when Harry Potter and Voldemort's wands connect. There is a battle of old lady energy.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit her with the side eye too.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll for intimidation.
All right. It's gonna go down. 8.
Okay, so she rolled a 6. So you guys are like, for you, this is actually, so you're very intense, and you old ladies feel as though there's an energy flowing between you that could shake the very mountains you stand on. The drama of this moment rumbles and raptures like an earthquake beneath you, and Yet to any onlookers, it is as though you have not moved at all, and you simply stand there looking at each other, smiling. It is a nice day out, and it is very sweet to see two elderly ladies sharing some time together.
Lovely.
Eli's going to, since I kind of did not have the same insight into that, just run and kind of right in between them, but I've stripped my clothes off, and I rolled a 16 for acrobatics to jump into the quarry and say, Elijah Woodstone!
So you manage, do you flip into the quarry?
Yeah, or just jumping in. I was just mainly rolling to that I didn't trip.
Yeah, so you fly into the quarry, and as you soar through the air, Penelope and Xxxzantor move towards the house in the woods. Granny Glenda, ever suspicious, glaring from the distance. Xxxzantor and Penelope pass through the threshold of the house into the dark corridors beyond, and the door closes behind them. And we'll pick up there next time on the next thrilling installment of Wooks and Warlocks.
I hope it was worth it.
Round and around in the tunnel when it's dark we go, searching through the rubble for what wants to spark like a shout in the night. And the sight of the past, it can fill us with fear all night, though we know the wheel comes back after time. Oh, sweet time. And the soul will rise from the ashes. We will climb as we shout into the night. Let no man mute my battle cry.
Wooks and Warlocks features Anthony Ryan as Xxxzantor, the Bugfolk Ranger, Jesse Bennett as Granny Glenda, Half Foxfolk Rogue, John Lombardi as Elijah Woodstone, the Elk Folk Wizard, and Trey Miller as Dungeon Master. Intro and outro feature the song Flight of the Phoenix by Tire Fire. Recording and editing are completed in-house by the Wooks and Warlocks team, recording consultation provided by Adam Horwitz. You can find us online at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord under the name Wooks and Warlocks. Links can be found in the description. If you would like to sponsor an episode of Wooks and Warlocks, please contact us at wooksandwarlocks@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.
Dark clouds brew in a storm deep in the sky. Words spoken in anger, vibrate like a neon sign in the mind's eye, multiplied by time and time again. It's those we love that we lose when we struggle with what's inside. Just hoping for hope, something to ward off the fright. And the soul will rise from the ashes. We will climb as we shout into the night.